Hi, I am Janerka, the creator of Urantiapedia. In this video, we are going to learn how to do the third of the tasks in the roadmap for the first milestone in Urantiapedia. This task is the addition of the Bible to Urantiapedia. We are going to do this in a very simple way, just using a text editor and a free tool called eSword. So there aren't any special requirements or skills for anyone that wants to contribute in this task. This video is going to be part of a series of video tutorials about how to collaborate in a basic way in Urantiapedia. In other videos, we will be exploring other advanced ways to contribute. The main points we are going to learn here are this. Where are Bible files? What is the format of these Bible files? Installing eSword tool, downloading Bible translations in eSword, copying content from eSword, and finally, sending changes to maintainers of the project. So, let's go with it. Where are Bible files? As explained in a previous video tutorial, all the content for the Urantiapedia project is available in a public project in GitHub. This is the URL. Check that tutorial to know how to download this project or only needed files. The files required for Bible are located here: input folder, text subfolder, and any subfolder called Bible- and the code of the language. Inside each translation for the Bible, we have a collection of files. Each file is one book of the Bible. Each file will have a name following this pattern: a number underscore a name.tex, where the number will be a sequential number, always with 3 digits, starting at 1, 001, 002, etc. A name will be the name of the book. The names should be in each language, but if not, they could be in English. Here is a provisional list of the books to include with their number. It should be noted that the order in which books are numbered places first books that are canonical to all creeds before the books that are canonical only in some creeds. This order is not essential, but is useful to make it easy to identify each book simply by the initial number, especially when the names of each book are used in each particular language. Format of Bible files. The content of each book must come in LaTeX format. LaTeX format is a common text format for academic papers. It is a very complex format, but here we are going to use a very simple number of LaTeX commands or tags. These are the commands that we are going to use: \begin, and then document, and the \end, and then document to signal the start and the end of the book, \title to set the title of the Bible book, \chapter to signal the start of a chapter and set the number of the chapter, \section to signal the start of any section if there are any, and a text to show as a header of the section, and finally \par to signal and set the content of each of the paragraphs. For example, this is an excerpt from the Gospel of Matthew in English. As you can see in this extract, the rules to follow are these. Each biblical book will begin with a line /begin and in curly braces document, and it will end with a line /end and in curly braces document. Comments can be placed which will be ignored using percentage in front of each line. Each book will have its title with a /title and then curly braces comment at the beginning of everything. This will be the title in the Urantiapedia web page. Each chapter will be marked with the comment /chapter and then in curly braces the number of the chapter, starting at 1. If there are any sections are some subtitles that sometimes you find in some editions of the Bible. They will be marked with the command /section and in curly braces the title for the section. After a section or after a chapter, if there are no sections, verses will be placed, each one starting with the command /bar and then separated with a space the verse number and then separated with it the content. All of the verses must start with 1. Each verse will be a line. To improve readability, blank lines can be put before or after chapters and sections, but it doesn't matter because they will be ignored. Next, we will see how we can create a translation of the Bible in this format very easily using the tool called eSword. Installing eSword tool. eSword is a completely free tool for studying the Bible in PC. This is the URL for downloading it. Go to this page, click in the Downloads button. You have versions for Windows, Mac, and also for smartphones and tablets, but we are going to use Windows or Mac. Once downloaded, execute the installer and follow the default steps. Downloading Bible translations in eSword. For downloading a Bible translation in eSword, follow these steps. Open eSword, close any startup message if appears, and go to the menu Downloads, then Bibles. That opens the eSword module downloader. In the Bible tab, you will see a list of all Bibles available, sorted by language. It is a tree view, so you can collapse or expand its language to see the list of available translations. It is important to download only public domain translations. We cannot use copyrighted versions of the Bible that are not in public domain to avoid any legal issue in Urantiapedia. For example, here we have a public domain translation for Japanese that we haven't already downloaded because we have the link to download it. Click in the link and wait to have it installed. Then you can proceed with the other translations the same way. Copying content from eSword. For copying the verses from eSword to Bible files, we can use this process. First, copy all the files in another language already available, for example, in English. This way, you can have a guide or template for the files. Here I am copying the translation in English, and I'm going to create the Hungarian translation for the Bible. Let's go to the first file, for example, the 001_genesis.text. Select everything that is below the backslash title and above the backslash n tags. Now, in ES Word, select the menu Bible and then Copy Verses. The window Copy Verses opens. In the top selectors, select the book, in this example Genesis, and then select the first verse, usually is the one by default, and the last verse of the last chapter, usually is not the default, so you need to select it. As format for output, leave the first option selected, the default, that creates texts like Gen 1:1 and then the text of the verse. Now click Copy and then go to Visual Studio Code and paste the title, below the title, all the content. The text pasted needs to be changed to follow the LaTeX format conventions. We're going to do this really fast with 3 replacements. In Visual Studio Code, select menu Edit and then Replace. In the Find box that appears, type caret and 3 dots, like this. Be aware to also add a space at the end. In the Replace box, type \par and then also be aware to add a final space after that. Ensure that the button Use Regular Expression is clicked. Now click in Replace All button. You will see some changes made in all the file. Next, in the Find box, type this. Be aware to add the final space. In the Replace box, type all this. Be aware that now there is no extra space at the end. Click again in Replace All. This will create the chapter tags in all the book. Finally, in the Find box, type all this. Be aware that is a blank space at the end. And in the Replace box, type \par and this $2 symbol without any final space. Click again in Replace All. This will set the correct format for paragraphs. And that's it. You now need to repeat this process with each book of the Bible. It is a boring task, I know, but it takes less than an hour to have all the books in the Bible in the correct format supported in Durantiapedia. And once you have finished the work with a translation of the Bible, it can be sent to maintainers of the project. Sending changes to maintainers. Collaboration through GitHub has the advantage that anything can be done easily through the GitHub web, but for now, to make the edition really simple to anyone that wants to contribute, you can send the files you have edited by sending them in an email to any of the maintainers in the project. If you have been in contact with any of us, you can send us directly your work. Then it is really easy for us to update the Durantiapedia website with the new content. You will be notified when the changes are made in the web, so you usually will have the opportunity to check that in less than an hour to see your changes and see if they have updated correctly. So that is all for me about this task in the project. I hope this tutorial has been helpful to you, and stay tuned for next tutorials in a new series that we will do in the future. Thanks for your attention. See you. Bye for now.